Hello Fosstube, my name is Kristen, and if you are new here, this is a channel about cross stitch, and if you are returning, I appreciate you coming back to see me. Today is Sunday, June 1st, so this is a recap of what I stitched on in May, which was a month of mermaids and unicorns. I did 2 of each, and I do want to just start with the winner of my spring giveaway, which I just did a random comment picker, and I will put a picture of the winner's name up here at Catholic Clarity. So if you can send me your, email me your information, I will mail that out to you, hopefully sometime this week. And I did make I made more than one purchase, but I made one chart purchase from an Etsy store, Stitching Coven. And it's kind of like, I consider it kind of like a Lord of the Rings sampler. I'm just not a sampler stitcher. I appreciate them. I love watching other people stitch them. I think it's more fear-based for me because I don't have confidence in my not screwing up the count. And anyway, I thought that I was drawn to this one. This won't do it justice. There is a video of a finish, and it just looked really pretty. And I already have some fabric and a lot of the flosses, and it was $5, which is pretty reasonable. And you actually get 2 for 1 because when you download your PDF, there's actually a long list of almost 80 charts, and anytime you make a purchase, you get a free chart. So I basically got 2 charts for $5, which was a really good deal, and they both are kind of similar, and I cross-reference, and I can use a lot of the same flosses for both, which is cool. And this, did I say it already? I think I did. Stitching Coven. The title is really a mouthful. It's A Stitcher's Guide to Middle-earth, Epic Journey, Craft Your Own Fellowship. So that I just thought was really cool. And I feel like it's inspired by the book as well as the movie, because I feel like this might be Tom Bombadil. I think that was his name. He was a character in, I believe, The Fellowship of the Ring that wasn't in the movies. So I just thought that was really cool. I like the imagery. You've got the Ents and a lot of the weapons and a little elvish twist to some of the border, and I just thought that was really cool. And then when I chose my freebie, this won't show up as good because it was much smaller. There was a lot of variety in the free charts, and the proceeds actually also go to the Regional Animal Services of King County, which is in Washington State, which is a real place. I looked it up, so hopefully it's all legit. Anyway, there were the wreath style, and there was just a lot of different things to choose from. So there was similar charts to this one. There was a Harry Potter ones, one for every book. So I chose the 4th adventure. I just like the look of this one better than the rest. And I liked, of course, there's a dragon and a mermaid on there. And I just thought that one was really cool. So we will, at some point in my life, stitch. I'm going to get matching fabric to the one I have for the Lord of the Rings one. So I thought those were cool. And then, whoops, these are just the giveaway winner. That's what you get. So I'm just going to start off the top of my pile. So this was a new start. This is Dancing Mermaid by Joan Elliot. This is in an issue of Just Cross Stitch, June from 2017. Just in case you want to try to find it. This is a new start for me, and if you guys saw my last video, this is a piece of 28 count Lugana. You know what? I didn't write it down again. Dang it. Might be Ocean Floor 1. It's from Sunflower Printed Fabrics, which I bought from Rogue Stitching. And yeah, the fabric's smaller than I thought it was, but I think I'm going to make it work. And that is the start that I have on her. I was a little bit concerned that, you know what, I should put that magazine behind her. That Some of Her Blues, well, that's not any better. Now you can see the magazine through that. Oh, well, sorry. The light's good, but it's too good. It's shining through things. I was afraid the blues would maybe blend into the fabric, but so far I think it's coming out okay. It's an easy feel to stitching on that. The fabric and the chart. It's just kind of fun. And I'm going to have you guys, of course, as I've been doing, have you choose what you want me to stitch on for July. And I did put together a Joan Elliot group, so if you guys were to choose that, I would stitch on her again in July. And then for one of my unicorns, it's Therese Lowenser's unicorn. This is only the second time I've worked on this one. And the unicorn is much darker than I realized. And I'm going to be really interested to see how it all pulls together when all the rest of the things are stitched, or the rest of the colors are stitched. I think I actually reached out to the Facebook group because I thought maybe I pulled the wrong color and labeled it wrong. So somewhere in here I'll put where I was when I took it out this month. I had done some of this tree and a good part of his head. I think I had finished most of his head last time. So I worked up in the tree. There is some stitching up here, but I think it's too dark for that to catch it. And then I did quite a bit on his body, and I think that's part of his mane. I just haven't done the top part. It's just really interesting to see how those colors are all going to come together. I enjoyed it much more this time than the last time I took it out. I think I'm just getting into the groove of her style. And what I think I would say I had the most fun stitching this month is Deepest Love by Mirabilia. I actually was trying to keep each project on my Q-Snap for at least 5 days. Of course, I don't always get to stitch for all of those 5 days, but I kept her on a little bit longer. So this was also the second time I took this project out. And this is a 28 count Lugana in the color Lazurite by Chromatic Alchemy. And that is where I am. So I think I had just gotten some of this done. So I get this part, the top of her fin done, and then I started on her torso. I miss Chromatic Alchemy. I love all her fabrics. I have a few of them. I could have just kept going on that one. I was having a good time stitching on her. I was trying to figure out, I think I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing for the rest of the year. You know, coming up with groups of projects and having you guys vote for what you want me to stitch on. I'm going to do a mid-year whip parade for my next video. And I think I might be over 60 now. And some of them are just like small little things that if I never get to it again, I really won't care. But I don't know. I'm thinking maybe for 2026, I might only pick like 26 charts to have out in rotation. And then as I finish one, just like add another one back in. And so I'm always got 26 to choose from, and maybe have you guys choose or spin the wheel, or I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. So the second unicorn chart was A Long Journey by Unconventional Cross Stitch, which is obviously a Last Unicorn inspired chart. Well, I say obviously. I guess it's only obvious if you've seen it. And this was a center start on a 28 count horribly dyed Lugana that I was trying to do for something else, and I didn't want to waste it, so I started this on that. So I think this one I got 496 stitches on, which brought me up to 0.79% out of 62,500 stitches. And I think I'd have to look in the package of flosses, but I think there's almost no white on her. It's really cool, the different, these are, I forget the numbers, I think they're in the 20s, like a very, very pale purple and a very, 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 very pale pink. So I'm going to be interested to see also how all those blend together. I tried to stack these up a little differently so I wasn't making my normal mess of things. I'm not sure if this is any better. And then I decided to, because I had finished my Elemental Dragon's Fire, which was one of my small monthly piece that I was working on, I opted for a small Mirabilia. So I decided to start working on the Dragonfly, which is the Australian Retreat Dragonfly, which of course I'll put the picture up because I don't have a cover sheet. So I just pulled different colors from Stash to start this. And I'm just not good at conversions. I posted on my Instagram for some feedback because I'm not totally sure I did an okay job. It's the Krennic I don't think fits with the colors that I chose. Because I only bought, I bought, this is a Sage Lugana 28 count. And I bought the beads that it called for and the Krennic, which I shouldn't have because I changed all the colors. So anyway, I did work quite a bit on this. So that's where I am. And I decided to fully finish one side to just see how this fits in. And I think I changed it. So I brought some of the Krennic up into the wing to see if that might help. I don't know. And I think I also pulled out a slightly different colored bead to try to have some more contrast in there. So I think the next time, well this month when I take it out, I'm going to try to maybe work on this bottom wing just to see how it all looks with that. I think the Krennic's too bright. I don't know, guys. You have to tell me what you think. What I did was I had some water lilies left over from Lilith. And that's what I've been using. And then there was a second called for water lilies, but I just decided to just kind of like, I think I did a blend in, I think that's the blend in here. And I just picked some other colors. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Should I just go for it? I'd be interested to see. Well, yeah. I'm just not good at conversions. I guess I don't have the eye for that. And my monthly full coverage is Outlander by Thread Geeks, which on this one I got 565 stitches, which for me, for only like 3 or 4 days, I think I had her on my Q-Snap. That's not too bad. So that brought me up to 11.1% out of 75,816. And this is 2/1 half cross, which I had kind of debated. Well, I have till the end of the month to figure it out. I had debated swapping out my full coverage piece halfway through the year and picking out a different one to do for the remainder of the year, but I think I'm just going to stick with this one. So I'm just working more on her. I got some of this filled in, and I'm starting on her face is starting to appear. So I think I kind of want to see what her face looks like. Because once I get to her face, and his is going to be right here, so that even might be his hair. I'm not totally sure. I'm in a big block of just, I think that's 712. So we'll see. I think I'm going to keep going with it. So that's the progress that I made in May. I think that was all of them. So you guys voted for me to work on fairies for June. So I will show you what I'm going to work on. I think 3 of these were new starts over the last few months. So this will be the second time I take some of these out. So we've got Black Swans at Lily Pond Dreams, which I do have to check and make sure I actually have the colors that I need, because I think I ran into that problem when I took it out the first time. I thought I had it all, and then I kind of struggled a little bit. And this is just a 28 count. Should have wrote it down. The 28 count. I don't think it's Lugana. I think it might be. Oop, that's the back part of it. Yikes. There she is. You don't want to see the back. Ooh, my backs are not pretty. Not Lugana. One of the other even weaves. So that's the start that I got. So we'll start trying to fill her in a little bit. I do keep my eye out for other Black Swan. There's another one. I mean, I do have the fairy. I have one fairy, dragon, a wizard, and I think I have another one. There's another wizard that I thought was kind of cool. I think the wizard that I have is like the Wizard of the Air. That's Avatar. And then they have like Merrick, and he's a Wizard of the Sea. and I thought he was really cool. But he's also hard to find. So I'm also going to work on my Firefly Fairies by Lavender and Lace. This one I am doing on a 28 count linen in the color Amazing Grays, an ombre by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. So last time I took them out, I got a good chunk of the blue fairy done. So I would probably just keep going with her when I take her out. I'm not going to put it too close because I struggled a bit with some of the... Anyway. I wouldn't want you to see it too close. We're going to keep it back here. I am far from perfect, as you know. But I enjoy it, so that's okay. And then I have my one and only Laura Latuda chart, Winter Fairy Spirit. This was the one I was trying to dye that fabric for that I ended up using for a long journey. Because I wasn't trying to get this color. I don't remember what I was trying to go for, but it definitely wasn't that. So I don't remember when I started her. One of my month of fantasies back in the winter. And I'm not totally certain which way this goes, so I'm just going to hold it this way. And this is a 28 count linen. It's a different kind of linen. I think it's Glasgow linen. I found this at a needlework shop in Massachusetts, and my son and I were on our adventure. And it's different than any other kind of linen I've stitched on. It's like thick, and it's, I don't know, it's joyful to work on. So that's the start that I have on her. I don't know, it just has a good feel to it. I'm not good with my descriptions. It's definitely thick. And then that leaves my only Bella Filipina Mayari. I am stitching her on 28 count linen from Picture This Plus in the color Phantom, which never shows up right for you guys. And it's a big piece, so let me just fold it a little bit. It'll help block the light too. So that's the start that I got on her. I'm trying to see, well that's not, now you can kind of see. There's some purple tones in here as well. Not a bad start. So we'll see how far we get on her. I got a little more stitching done in May because we had, you know, Mother's Day and Memorial Day, and I had a little bit of time off. I don't think it'll be the case in June, so we'll see. So again, I'm going to have you guys choose. So I'm going to show you choices for what you want me to stitch for in July, which no matter what is chosen, I didn't pull it out, but I am going to, at least for 1 day or 2 days, stitch on my Jaws chart because I do that in July. So I've got 3 groups of choices. One is full coverage and all my Heaven and Earth designs. So this is my mini Day Night by John Shannon. This had been my focus full coverage piece for a while. I didn't write down any numbers or anything. I'm just going to show them to you quick. So that's where I am on this one. This is the most I've got done on any of my full coverage pieces. And then we've got a quick stitch Phantom of the Opera by Amy Stewart. The only one I did a right upper right corner start, which I probably would never do again. Oh, and I'm doing, sorry, mini day night is 1/1 25 count full cross, and this is 2/1 28 count half cross. So that's where I am. Did I have that right? Sorry, I don't wear my glasses because the light would be reflecting in it, and sometimes I can't tell what I'm doing. That's the start I have on that. And I also have Mini Night Day by John Shannon. This probably has the least amount of work done on it. I'm also doing this the same as the sister chart, 25 count, 1/1 full cross. That's where I'd be starting on that. And then my only full size, so to speak, is Hold True by Adele Sessler, which I'm still just up in the corner of. Not a whole lot going on. And yes, I know I sewed the edges wrong. This actually does come out to here. It's just really light. I'd like to get to some of the good stuff on that. So those would be my full coverage charts if you want me to stitch on those. And then I thought it would be fun to do like a Lord of the Rings month, which I would be starting that sampler that I just showed you. And I would also be working on My Love and Valor by Thread Geeks, which is 1/1 on a 28 Monaco, I think. Not gridded, which is not a good idea for me, but so far I think I'm doing all right. I was happy to start to get to his face, so I think the last time I took it out, I did a month of Thread Geeks, but I forget when that was, a while ago. I think I filled in a bunch of this area here, so I don't know where I'd go if I take that out. Then I thought I would also pull out my, I don't remember what it's technically called, but it's the Gate to the Mines of Moria. This is probably going to show through. This is a 28 count charcoal Lugana, and I am using glow-in-the-dark DMC. I don't have a cover sheet, so I'll put the picture up there. And then I thought if we chose the Lord of the Rings month, I would also start my only modern folk embroidery. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the Namare Tapestry. This is part of a Tolkien poem. And I chose, my husband got this for me for Christmas. I chose to do it on, this is a 28 count. I chose to do a 1/1 on 28 count. This is Dusk. And now that's definitely not going to show. I hope I get it right up there maybe. There's some green hues in there. And I thought instead of doing like the gold, I chose to go with Threadworks. Threadworks overdyed in the color Mint Chocolate Syrup. So, get a bunch of that. I guess because when I think of the elves, I think of, I don't know, I guess that just makes me think of really pastel blues and greens. So I thought that would be, I don't know, I just thought I liked that better. So that's what I went with. I can't form a good thought today, I'm sorry. And then I have a few Joan Elliot charts. So obviously it would be Dancing Mermaid. And then I would be able to pull out my Madonna and Child, which I am stitching them on a fun fabric from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers called, this is hand painted, called After the Rain. After the rain and without raindrops. There are some raindrops that can also be placed on there, but I chose to have them omit that just because I thought it would be, I didn't want it to be too busy because there's beads and the birds, and I just thought it would be better without it. That's a 28 count Lugana. And then I'm also working on Celestial Dragon. The other half of the fabric I had done on Lilith, I got a really big piece of that. And my plan is to not stitch the border, just stitch the dragon. I think I've only taken this one out once, maybe. Pretty sure I only took this out once. I think it goes this way. This is a 28 count linen hyacinth from Sweet Stash, which is no longer available. This piece had a lot more kind of dark, almost black splotches kind of in it, which I thought would be more appropriate for like a spacey theme versus the watery theme for Lilith. So that's why I chose this half. That's the start that I have. I think that's the way it goes. Yeah, because I think that's the bottom of his wing. And my other last Joan Elliot chart is Celtic Twilight, which I've taken her out a few times. And I'm doing her on a 28 count Lugana. Picture this plus Barnwood. I think I got most of her. I think I would maybe start on some of the purples. That would be kind of fun. So those would be my Joan Elliot charts. So you guys can let me know if you want me to stitch on Heaven and Earth Designs full coverage, Lord of the Rings, or Joan Elliot. And whatever you choose, I will honor that choice. And I'm also going to sneak Jaws in there. So that's that. So I hope you guys have a really nice June. Like I said, we don't have a whole lot coming up. My son is a Special Olympics athlete, and so this coming weekend we do have state summer games, so hopefully it won't rain. We just had the 11th rainy Saturday in a row, so hopefully, fingers crossed, the athletes can get a good couple of days, so that's not too affected. And yeah, so I will see you at the beginning of July. Bye.